This is Bird's silver streamer. It can be tied, according to the recipe, on a 4 down to a size 10 hook. I don't suppose that that's a hard, fast rule, but that's what the recipe says. I'm tying it on a number 6, 3x long streamer hook, black thread. The rib on the silver streamer is silver. I think that's probably where it gets its name. I have a piece of bicolor tinsel. I'm going to tie it in with the silver side towards the hook. That way when it flips, it will show the silver side. Just pull that out of my way. The body is white floss, and I'm not particularly worried about the bulk or making sure that I have a perfectly even body because it's tapered. And I've got this long, it's actually 2 strands. I'm using 210 denier white thread. Let's see if we can't get this tied in. Try to keep it from wrapping now. So 2 strands of 210, and this is probably not going to be long enough. I do want to do at least 2 layers because I need to cover up the black thread. I really should do more floss bodies so that I can get this wrapping the floss in technique down, but I'll get there. So this can be, depending on your mindset, a little bit tedious, but there's no hurry as far as I know. So I'm just going to take my time, take a breath, and wrap that white thread down the shank of the hook, and then to make sure that I have good coverage, I'm going to come back up, and as I come back up, I will build my taper. And if I run out of thread, which is likely, then I'll just add some more in up at the eye of the hook or behind the eye of the hook. Just make sure that I've got the black all covered, and then pay attention as I wrap to get that taper built. This is not the only streamer from Bird. He has another one that's very similar called the black marabou streamer. This one does use black marabou for the wing, and that one does use black marabou for the wing. The difference between the two is the rib and the underwing. So on the black streamer there is no rib. It's just the white body. So ran out of thread, so I need to tie in some more thread. And I don't need to wrap all the way back over that, I just need to catch it in. I'll wrap over that little stem when I do the body wraps. Get my thread out of the way, and then I can start wrapping, cover up. This does have a long tapered black thread head. But as I was saying, there is another fly called the black marabou streamer, and it does not have the silver ribbing, and instead of red bucktail for the undertail, it uses orange bucktail for the undertail. Otherwise, the two are very alike. This one does have the silver rib, and it has a red bucktail undertail instead of no rib and the orange bucktail undertail. Okay, I think I've got a bit of a taper. I've kind of tapered off the head here too, just because I don't like a sharp drop off. It makes tying the tinsel in harder if the end of the body here, the floss wrap, is sharp. Then I'll take that tinsel, and as I wrap it, it will flip so that it will show the silver side, and then I'll just spiral that up the body. And I am not counter wrapping. The floss isn't prone to having the rib fall between the strands. I do like the way the silver reflects the colors around it. The gold doesn't do that. And I don't know if that's why he used silver for the rib instead of gold. But the silver will pick up the color of the underwing as well as the color of the overwing and other colors around it, where the gold doesn't do that. I have a little pinch of red, and this is maybe more a magenta than the red in cowbird's fly, but it works. It's a sparse underwing and not twice the length of the hook, but it leans out quite a ways behind the hook. It is a streamer after all. So I'll go ahead and tie that in, hold it tight. Because it's bucktail, it tends not to flare the way that deer body would, but I still want to hold it tight, so I keep it on top of the hook shank. And then I'll clip that out, try to get an angle there that'll help me create that tapered head after I wrap in the other wing. And I'll go ahead and wrap over that right now just to get it tied down right to the eye of the hook. I personally don't like the square ends in so many of the marabou feathers, so to get a little bit fluffier wing, I'm peeling off the edges of the feather where they are fluffier, not so straight-ended, and my wing, same length as the underwing, lay that on top and wrap up over that. And I can wrap it in tight, and then I'm going to clip out these butt ends, try to create that angle which will give me the taper. Very characteristic of cowbirds' streamers is a long tapered head. I'll bring my thread down to the eye, and then I will wrap backwards And hopefully I can catch in all that marabou end to get that tapered head. And then I can even wrap back a little bit further on it and get that nice taper. I'll go ahead and put a whip finish. Take care of my thread. And I'm going to give this streamer a contemporary twist by using some thin UV resin for the head. That's something that I haven't really bothered to find out, is when did we start using UV resin on flies? We've been using lacquer for a long time. Lacquer, varnish. So by turning the wet UV, that helps it to not puddle or drip. And then I can shine my light on it, and I hadn't realized this before, but that dyed buck hair picks up the UV really cool. So that will be a characteristic of this fly underwater, that it will have that fluorescence as it plays with the light that comes through the water. So this is then Cal Bird's Silver Streamer.